Cooper hasn't done that I could say he should do to say he's done it all.
He won that championship. That was it.
Everything. He's done everything. He's scored a lot of assists.
The only thing that can cap off his career is becoming Mr. Basketball.
So why is it that when I watch Juwan Odom, did I feel like he's the best player? Every time I watch Juwan Odom play, I feel like I'm seeing something special. Like I'm seeing something that I'm not gonna maybe not see again. I said that for a long time. BJ Boston was my favorite high school player in Georgia. I don't get that feeling that I'm seeing something I'll never see again. Hello, welcome. It's the Love of the Game podcast, man. You at the crib. We're in the building. I'm back. Mr. Jones, what's good with you? How you feeling, man?
I'm better. Had a nice week to relax after last week. It was hectic and successful. Nice and rested up. I'm good.
Come on, big dog. You about to be on injured reserve, dog? What's good,
bro? No. They just took me in the concussion protocol for a minute.
Hey, man, listen. We got a good show coming. I can't wait till we get to introduce our guests. We got great guests on today. We got a great show lined up for you. We got evaluators, players, coaches. We got a little bit of everything on the show right now, man. So I hope y'all locked in. Let's get straight to the smoke, man. I don't want to waste no time. Let's get to it, big dog.
Absolutely.
The ESPN Top 100 list came out.
Yes, it did.
It was spicy.
Some omissions. Definitely some omissions.
Hey, you want to say there were some misses? D, were there some misses?
Yeah, there was some misses. And, listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but some things, whether you have to either be going by opinion or you can't be going by stats. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, I think I got a live look at how bad some of the misses were. Would you like to see it?
Sure, absolutely.
Here we go. I got a live look at the voters and how bad some of them missed.
Let it rain! Rain dance! Let it rain! Let it rain! Iceman! Sandy! White chocolate! Sandy! Raindrops! Old school! T! Time out. I'm burning. My lungs are burning. Time out.
Hey, man, I got secret footage, bro. I got the behind the scenes, dog.
Listen, don't start early in the show.
You know what I'm saying? I had to call Olivia Pope. I had to get the special behind the scenes. I got the FBI, the CIA. I got Homeland Security, baby. We got everybody working on that. You know what I mean? Shout out.
Listen, man. In all seriousness, man, I mean, there were some people, and there's no bias in this, but, we talk on a regular basis, and we go through this stuff daily. We mention names, we mention players, we mention up-and-coming players, and some folks that were missed, of course, everything is subjective and debatable, but, man, listen, man, like some of the players that weren't on there, and it's let me say this, it's no disrespect to anybody that's on that list. Let me say congratulations to everybody that's on that list.
Yeah, let's get that out the way first, D. This is a no hating podcast. Like,
absolutely. Yes.
No shade.
Let me say that. Yes.
And I believe I can speak for you as well. Don't believe that you ever have to devalue a person to uplift someone else.
Absolutely, yes.
We trying to uplift people who we felt like should have been recognized. This is not a shot at anybody who actually made the list. And I want to go through the some people who made the list and call out some names and give everybody their flowers and congratulations, because it is not a shot at any of those young ladies. You worked hard. You deserved it. To even be in that conversation, you absolutely busted your butt and worked hard and deserved it. So that's number one.
Definitely. And I'll piggyback off of that, man. I couldn't agree with you more. It's just some of those things where, I'm always interested in what is the precise criteria. Because then I could say, okay, if we're going by this criteria, it makes sense. But a lot of times, this is just my opinion, I feel like it's who's sexy at that certain time, rather than overall body of work.
Could be. Maybe it's a hard job. I don't know.
Sure
maybe
it is.
Some of those
It is.
is a tough job. But I want to get into, Dave, you're a national evaluator. We got Sydney Johnson joining, national evaluator. But I'm a Georgia guy. So I want to show love to some Georgia folks that made the list. And show some love really quick. And then we'll get back to this conversation of some of the misses. But got a shout out. 2025, Georgia did extremely well for the class of 2025. You got 4 in the top 100. Haley Swain checks in at number 9. Shout out to Haley Swain, that whole family. Shout out to them. That's a family that's been grinding in that gym for a very long time.
Friend of the show as well.
100%.
Friend of the show, definitely.
100%. Haley Swain checks in at number 9. Aubrey Beckham at number 47 can go. Daniel Osho is number 52, can go.
Teammates.
Jessica Fields out of Mount Perrin Christian just made the cut at number 99. Mount Perrin Christian deserves a shout out too, man. That is a traditional powerhouse here in Georgia that absolutely gets it done year in and year out. So shout out to Jessica Fields. Those are the 4 that made it for the class of 2025. For 2026, you got Kate Harpring at number 2 overall. That's huge.
Yeah, she took a big leap from, was it 9 to 2?
Absolutely. So shout out to Kate Harpring and Maris. We'll be over there to watch some games. Gabrielle Minus over at Veterans checks in at number 34.
No longer at Veterans.
Oh, are we breaking news?
No, it's not breaking news. Let's just say she's on a national power now.
Hey man, listen. Are you gonna spill the beans? Don't make me press you on here, man. Are we gonna spill the beans or what, bro? Is it ready?
She's teamed up with those other 2 top 100s in 2025.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll be over there at Hebron Christian. Shout out to y'all. And hey, my bad veterans. Isabella Ragone from Mill Creek.
Oh, love her.
Checking in at number 28. So congratulations to her. And the lone entry from Georgia for the class of 2027 is Keandria Arcree from Monroe.
Definitely big congratulations to her. But let's just go ahead and say it. 2027 got a number of young ladies that will be in that top 100. And you know what? Let's just, I'm just going to say it right now.
Go ahead, get it off, big dog. Get it off.
If she's watching, she's She's one of our favorites. Love her to death.
However do you want it? However do you need it?
Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
we got the theme song. I'm gonna have the theme song the next time you bring her name up. I'm gonna have the theme song.
There is no way Munchie is not a top 2027.
I would agree.
As right now, Munchie has 19 to 20 power fives. If you got 19 to 20 power five offers and you're a 2027, that means you're in 10th grade and you're not on that top list. Again, my question becomes, what is the criteria? I'll wait.
Could be a hard job, man.
And listen, and not bashing anybody that does these rankings.
Can I say something, man? I can't. I can't do this. I'm trying to be politically correct, and I'm sorry, but it's just not me. I got like the shots that are coming at Keisha George right now. To me is not right. I don't know if this has anything to do with that. It's not right. I could say a bunch of other things right now. I'm just going to say it's not right. Because there are kids that are and families that are being impacted by her organization trying to be like, like, bro, come on, man. Like, this is so obvious. And what makes me upset is that there's at the end of the day, there's a standard that has been a basketball standard that has been set in Georgia. This doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the, I'm not going to get into it. It's wrong.
Yeah. Well,
it's wrong.
Again, if we're going by criteria, and again, if we're going by criteria, I can totally understand if they didn't have anything in the pipeline, if they were out there getting blasted, then yes, we talk about, like, a lot of times when you go on a circuit and you see certain teams getting drove, and you be like, oh, well, unless they got some superstars coming up, this might be they might be moving down to the second tier circuit until they can get their stuff back up. Let me say this, man, and I said this a week or two ago. ABL came on the scene, and I got a chance to see them first tournament out, and I was like, oh, okay. And when I seen ABL had a girls team, I was like, okay, well, we all knew them from the Pro-Am. And remember, I told you, I was like, hey, man, these girls are good, man. They're real good. And it followed up at Adidas Nationals, and you don't get an invite to the NCAA Academy / USA Basketball Top 24 at the end of the year unless you got some players, man. And they had one of the most dynamic, the 16U team had one of the most dynamic games. I think it was the semifinal game where they lost in double overtime. Man, that court was jam-packed. And to tell me they're not going to be one of those teams next year, I feel for it. That's all I can say is I feel for her on that one.
Tough not to have a problem with that. I just hope that the girls are not being punished. I hope that Munchie's not left off a list because of something like that. And maybe it's still early for Munchie. Maybe that's what it is.
No.
Maybe people feel like it's still early.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, man. I'm trying to be as fair as I possibly can.
If you look at Munchie's list, if you look at her list right now, without knowing her, your first assumption would be, oh, she got to be top something. Just off of that, if you haven't even seen her play.
Well, so I'm going to say this, and I'm about putting out all the facts, right?
Okay.
The 2027 ESPN
It's loaded. Yes.
is I'm not saying that the 2027 ESPN list is only 25 players. It's not 100.
That's correct.
It's only 25 players. So we're not saying that they didn't acknowledge her as one of the top 100 players, which we are absolutely certain that we feel like she is. We're only saying that she wasn't acknowledged as the top 25, and that makes it more difficult when it comes to that class. Still believe that she should be there, but I do want to speak to the level of difficulty because you only get 25 for the entire country at 2027.
Yeah.
So I'm still mad, but I want to be fair.
Hey, and side note, I can't wait to see that Holy Innocents team, bro. Woo. 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 Woo.
Scary hours, man.
Yes.
Scary hours. We got our first guest in the building. Hey, man, this is my guy. Hey, listen. After this first event, Sid, man, you family. You family now. Hey, Coach Sid. Hey, listen.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, listen. When we would go in the refrigerator and we would get your drinks for you and make your plate for you the first time. Now you family, man. Just go on there, open up the fridge, man. Get what you want, bro. You all good now.
Man, I appreciate it, man. The basketball smorgasbord that you guys provided, the meal, the sustenance. It was awesome, man. And I was just happy to be there. I just love the event, love the way you guys do it.
We appreciate you for making that drive down there, man. Man, great trooper down 75, Dre.
Those mountains are something else, man.
Coming through Kentucky?
Yeah.
Trust me. You can talk to your man about that over there on the left. That's his home state.
Oh, really? Okay.
Hey, I only claim Louisville. The rest of the state has to deal with itself. I'm from the state of Louisville.
Got you.
But no, man, we definitely appreciate you coming. I enjoy watching you were moving around feverishly at the event, like you was trying to get it done.
Yeah, I wanted to see as much as I could. I wanted to see, I wanted to see them warm up if I could. I mean, I want to see whatever I can see. Just because I love seeing people even get prepared to play. So. So it was great, and you guys mentioned Worthy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, goodness gracious, I know you guys don't necessarily name an MVP. I mean, these are already top 100 in the region, but if you guys decided to do that, she would definitely be top 3, if not not the one. She would be at least the in MVP. She's just that special. It's amazing, and she's just she's a junior now. No, a sophomore. She's just a sophomore now. Just a spectacular player with a total package, and I also appreciated seeing please excuse the pronunciation. Is it Desdunes, the last name? Is Chikay?
Chikay.
Oh goodness gracious!
Yeah.
When she was warming up, I said, okay, she's just getting it going, just slow burn. And when the lights came on, it was something else. It just make the game look really easy. Mm-hmm. And makes some of the top 100 look like, okay, we really have tiers or something like that. I mean,
levels, absolutely,
yes,
levels.
I really enjoyed seeing her as well. Again, If you guys had an MVP, either a or a top three or something like that, definitely another player that would that you have to mention in kind of in that same breath.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, to me, I think you're spot on. To me, you could name about 4 or 5 that were lights out,
Yeah.
And again, that's no disrespect because there was some good players all around. And I say that because, coming out the gate like this and having that type of comp coming into play, it spoke a lot. And, some of these young ladies seeing that for the first time, I thought was good for them to see because, like you said, Sid, when them lights come on, and man, it's go time. And you get to see, those levels that you speak of. Like when we start talking of some of the top players in the country being right there, here it is right in front of your face.
Yeah, and I'm sure, as a top 100 regional player, you go from being someone who, the ball is always in your hands to if you're on a team with an individual of the level of the two that I mentioned, you're going to be playing off the ball. You're going to be trying to do some different things. So so that's got to be a little bit difficult adjusting your game. When you have when the game is close and the ball's in someone else's hands. So that's probably a little bit tough on the adjustment. But I liked a couple of your bigs as well. Both of them, I want to call them sisters, but they're not sisters. They're both from Mississippi. Jones,
Madison
Jones
and Rayleigh, yeah,
and Rayleigh, yeah. I really enjoy seeing just the hunger on the boards, and then they were both. They both would run the lane. They were both excellent rebounders. Both extremely smart. Would move the ball, and then would take the challenge of of defending if they had to defend, say, Worthy or something like that. They would take the challenge, and it was just great to see. Some post play also involved. They would both post up and they would pop. So to see some post play come back into the mix, that was fun to see.
And man, I want to give a shout out to Madison. She just picked up an offer from UT Martin right after the camp. And then one thing I always like to say, I would totally be ecstatic if it was me. That wasn't me. Like, she already had motion going coming into the camp. Now, I will say, after the camp, I got a number of calls about her. Yeah. And not just her, but she was one of those ones. That's what makes this camp so good, because you have the top players, but then you have players that are still only known regional, and then they come to a camp like this, and people are like, who is that?
Right.
Where did she come from? And her stock is about to take off. Definitely about to take off. Like, everybody knows Munchie. Like, this wasn't no introduction for Munchie. This wasn't no introduction for Momo. This wasn't no introduction for Shakai. Like, those are household names already. But it's the Madisons. It's the Rayleighs. It's some of the unsigned 2025s that people are just getting to know. There's so many good players that were there that, deserve, to be on the radar. And, that's what this event is for.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as the 25s, I mean, when I put out a couple of lists recently, and it was, I had Sky Cleveland from right up the street from Georgia, where you guys are.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed. I mean, she had a perimeter game. She went in and posted up, and just really smart players. Anyway, you had Sky Cleveland. I had it was a young lady that's from Louisiana named Mia Colston.
Yes, from Lake Charles. Yes.
Yeah, just a young Carmelo Anthony. Just making the mid range look easy. Jab step jab steps, pull-ups, just making the game look extremely easy. And I believe Colston had a sister that was a 23 that was also a very good player. And for the guards for 25, another local product, Nyla Johnson was one on my list. I didn't have as many 25s on my guard list. And London Loyal for your forward centers, another Georgia product. Just very good play. I was just impressed with how smart the players were. I was impressed with their willingness to run the floor for the most part. There were very few times when I felt like, okay, nobody's getting back on defense. This is just an outlet up court kind of deal. And that's not that fun to watch. Kind of like how the NBA All-Star game, when it gets out of control and it's and guys are not going 100% and they just up court and easy layups. I didn't get that feeling. This was some big time competition.
You just said something, and I'm glad you brought it up. Sky in London are still perceived to be under the radar.
Yeah.
And with that being said, and I'm going to say this, Sid, a place like Grand Valley, a D2 would be chomping at the bit for a person like that. But because a D2's budgets, they don't get to come to Atlanta. So it becomes people like us that have to put them in front of them to say, hey, this is a player that could help y'all right now.
Definitely. Grand Valley just picked up a player from Michigan that is very much in the Sky Cleveland mold. But I mean, Sky has better range than this particular individual. But I guess what I'm really saying is that type of player is being offered by them all the time, and it's like you said, it's just a matter of getting them in front.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coach, you talked about the basketball IQ quite a bit, and it was one of the things where I 100% agree. Everybody was playing so hard, and sometimes in camp games you get those glorified pickup run type of moments. But as you mentioned, the ball was moving. You saw a lot of ball screens being used. You saw different coverages in ball screens being used.
Yeah.
Like, these guys were getting after it, and the coaches were too. What do you think? You go to a lot of camps, you watch a lot of basketball. Do you think that is just innate in something in certain players, or was it the atmosphere? What do you think brings that out? Because I was shocked by it as well.
No, I think it was the atmosphere. One thing that you guys did a really good job of in your the coaches that you guys chose did a good job of was at the beginning, kind of setting the table, reminding everyone that there were all kinds of guests in attendance that were recruiters at different places, and they're looking for things that help their programs, and of course, when you're going to the next level, you're going someplace where, a very organized way of playing basketball at the collegiate level. So I think they kind of understood that, and they kind of understood that that the recruiters are looking to see how you could fit within their system. So it didn't turn into a one-on-one battles or clear one side of the floor kind of thing, or waving a screen off and I'm just going to go one-on-one against this person. It was not, you didn't see any of that stuff. And you saw, you guys also set the table well by, with the drill portion of the camp at the beginning, when they had some full court offensive / defensive transition, and they had, your shell drill. So it's reminding you, okay, we are doing help side stuff, and we are trying to find people off of screens or cutting, or, so all of, the fact that you guys did those things, some people will look at that as warm-ups, but it's not just that. It's also reminding the players that these are all the components of the things that the coach is going to be looking for. And and I use those things to try to look at how how different players react in different situations, almost like a coaching incubator or example or something where you can see, well, is this person going to roll their eyes when someone tries to coach them up or tries to tell them what to do or what not to do, or what's going to happen when this person that the player doesn't necessarily know is trying to tell them something, and they just really want to get to the scrimmages, so to speak. And so I'm really glad that I'm really glad that you guys had the preliminary things to remind the players that, hey, all of these components are what we're looking for, and it showed.
So we see Sky Cleveland checking in. Sky, we appreciate you. I think this is going to be a big year for her.
Absolutely.
I think he's picking up some offers. And we talked about this with a couple of other campers last week about being patient and enjoying the journey when it comes to their recruitment. For some, like we mentioned with Munchie and Momo and with Shakai, some of the other players, it happens really early. Yeah. But David, you've helped some players, like you mentioned, a young lady that you helped at St. Francis. It happened very late, and she still ended up with 10 plus offers or whatever she ended up with at the Division I level. Everybody's recruitment isn't going to happen the same, but you have to work as if, right? You have to put in that work as if you're already at that level. And I think Sky's one of those young ladies that continues to put in the work, continue to get better. And now she's having her moment where I think her recruitment is going to take off. I'm not sure where she is as far as, with her commitment. I know she's got several things going on in the mix. I've seen Piedmont. I know she just got a JUCO offer just the other day. She's got Montrese. So she's got some movement going, I think, at the right time, coming into a season where Creekside is going to be really good, where they've got talent. You've got a big-time point guard coming in that loves to distribute the basketball, who I also think should have been on the ESPN Top 100, but it's just me.
Yeah, the whole start.
I don't know how we lead Sandia Dennis off, but that's just me. But I think this is going to be a big year for Sky Cleveland. I can't wait to get over to Creekside to go and check her out, along with CC and Kiana Harvey and the rest of that Creekside team. So
I'll go ahead and say this. I think if she continues to do what she's doing right now, doesn't have to do anything out of the ordinary. I think if she has a good season, I think by the time we get to February, I do really think those D2s, those NAIAs, those type of schools are going to be right there. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact some of them are looking, and they want to, she's on the radar now, which is good. Mm-hmm. And if she continues to do exactly what she did in that camp, be yourself. Don't be somebody else that you're not.
100%.
She is going to be just fine. Like we always say this, don't compare yourself to what other people are getting right now.
100%. Run your race.
Run your race. Absolutely. And when it happens, it's going to happen. And like for those two young ladies that were mentioned, Sky and London, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I think too.
Yeah,
I think too, guys. I was just mentioning some of these young ladies have no idea how often they're being talked about in certain rooms. Mm-hmm. We just had to get on the phone. We got on a phone call with the parent, David, this week, and we had to tell the parent, "Hey, we talk about your daughter's recruitment every day. Every day." like sometimes we're arguing about it. Sometimes we're agreeing. We're talking about the list of coaches that we're going to contact. I think Sky Cleveland is one of those young ladies where you have no idea how often people are talking about your game and your recruitment, people who matter, right, in this game. So, like Coach Johnson, when she gets on Coach Sid's list and that goes out, you have no idea how many
coaches are looking at that.
How many text messages are getting exchanged, how many phone calls are getting exchanged. So you just got to run your race and keep working hard.
Yeah, I think as she continues to uh, develop her is continues to develop her physicality. Just it's really her disposition that's going to show. These the recruiters that she really wants it. She really wants to defend. She really wants to rebound. I saw her go in there and post up after being on the perimeter, and that's what really woke me up. I saw her on the perimeter, and I said, okay, she can do some things on the perimeter, but I think she could take advantage of the fact that she's 6 feet tall. And then lo and behold, 2 possessions later, she goes in there, gets an easy gets an easy layup, then gets an easy putback, and then mixes it up, gets fouled, and then she moves back out. So just showing her versatility, showing her disposition, her commitment, all of those things add up, and then she's gonna go some really good places.
Yeah, it makes her a matchup nightmare, Sid.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree with that. Just having a 6 footer that can do so many things. It's just so different than it's just so different, and it's so wonderful. So yeah, it's wonderful.
So any closing thoughts that you wanna come with before we let you go, buddy? Anybody you want to shout out? Anybody that maybe left off the list that you want to make sure that get their name called? They love hearing from you, Sid, by the way.
No, I've seen some tape lately for 2028. Kennedy Jackson is certainly somebody that's that's coming, and has done some special things that I've taken a closer look at. And then you have one other. Oh, Chastity McCammon.
Yes.
Yes. When she puts it all together,
yes.
Conditioning wise and everything else, she is going to be a monster. I saw her high point a couple rebounds. I saw her compete for the ball in the air, get it and clear. I saw some special things. So it's gonna be scary when she puts that full picture together.
Sid, you just named one, Sid, right there. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah.
That under the radar right there.
Yeah.
And since last week, the phone has buzzed about who is that? Where's she from? Why don't I know about her?
Yeah, and so like I said, just a couple people I didn't mention. Gabriella Benjamin is a hybrid forward.
Yeah.
Heaven Arkwright
yes.
is another name. Active mobile finisher. And then I have Jaleesa April as a quick defender, as somebody that's gonna be a menace out there. But I wish I could bend you guys ear all day and give you all the notes I had on all the different players. But anytime you guys want any commentary, I'll run my mouth and let you guys know. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Sid, we absolutely appreciate it. You are, every time we bring you on, man, it's absolute pleasure having you with us. And our campers, they absolutely loved it. You are a help, man,
Okay.
To the young ladies at our camp, but to Georgia. Totally. So, man, we want to have you back. Every single event that we have, man, we want you in the building. So
I'll battle the mountains. I'll battle the mountains as much as I can. I'll do whatever you guys need me to. I'll be out to see these players as they grow up. Just incredible. Georgia has a ton of talent. The surrounding states that we talked about, Louisiana, Tennessee, ton of talent, Alabama, and so I'm there for you guys whenever you guys need me.
Man, we appreciate you, man. Definitely.
Thank you very much, Sid. Appreciate you, man.
All right, take care. Thanks, guys.
All right, take care, Sid.
Yep.
Coach Sid is great, man.
Yes, he is.
Coach Sid is great. You talking about a class act, man. He came down and was hustling, bro. I mean, running from court to court. He had a notebook out, like he was getting to it, man.
Let me say this real quick. So to your point of Sid hustling, he started out. He said, "Can I go upstairs and sit up top and try and watch all the courts?" So he was up there originally watching all the courts. And then he came down and was going through court 1 through 3, going back and forth, back and forth. And to me, a lot of times I like to say this: your work speaks for yourself. We both saw it. You know what I mean? We both saw. I was like, "Oh yeah, he's one of us."
hustling. Was a joy to have him there, and appreciate everybody jumping in and rocking with us at camp. Man, listen, we got a super special guest coming on. I need to give her a nickname. And I don't know what it should be.
Future.
I like it. She's got a little Kyrie in her game. When this young lady is on the court, you better watch those ankles. Make sure you got them double taped. Make sure you got those ankles double taped up. Make sure there's ice on the sideline. You might need a little, you know what I mean? Might need some ice and a splint. On the sideline, man. We got a couple of highlights, man. I'm gonna put them up on the screen here for a second. Just from some of the buckets that got put in during camp, man.
Bucket.
Hey man. Hey man. We got Morgan Reckley in the building. Morgan, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you yet.
Let me see.
But I got you loud and clear on the audio. There should be a little button that looks like a camera at the bottom of your screen.
It's on, but it's like black. That's off, and it's on, but it's like black.
Okay. Well, hey, listen, I did old school radio before too. Well, there we go. Now it is. Now we got you.
Hey, Mom.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, Mom. How you doing? Mom, you're more than welcome to join us. You're more than welcome to join us for this. Listen, Morgan, I'm telling you, it is such a pleasure to have you on the show with us. And thank you for coming by camp. You played amazing, and it was wonderful having you in the building with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Morgan, I cannot believe it. When I look at your offer list and I watch your highlights, you are only a freshman in high school. Oh my gosh. Where do you get your game? Who do you give the credit for all of that game?
I give my credit to, I would say, my 3 trainers, and then my father, my brother. My mom, I get my athleticism from her, but my dad, really, I get like most of my skills from him and my brother because they spend so much time with me. And then my 3 trainers I go to every single day, like they just help me put in the work.
It definitely shows. Your game, I compared you a lot to Kyrie Irving behind the scenes, when I look at the snatch back, when I look at the spin moves, when I look at, but mainly the footwork, there are a lot of people who can handle the basketball, but you do so very fluently and on the move. Like you're always going somewhere with your handle. I wanted to ask, what players do you watch, whether in the W or in the league or anywhere else? Like, who are you watching and patterning your game after?
I always be watching Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, and then I also watch Fly J a little bit because she's from my side of town, and then Malaysia Fort Wiley.
Okay.
I love it. I love it. You may be able to see one of those players as you matriculate to the next level. Is it anybody that you feel like, hey, if I make it to the W, this is who I want to play against the most?
I would have said Candace Parker, but her dates is gonna be way over. So I would say probably Caitlin Clark. I want to see if she all about that hype when they guarding her and stuff like that, saying, "Oh, you gotta guard her." I'm trying to see what that's really about.
Hey, I love that type of competitor, D. She said, "I want the rookie of the year." Right off. I want the rookie of the year. Love a player that wants to smoke.
Let me ask you this, Morgan. You're going into your freshman year. What's your expectation?
For my team, mostly, I just hope that we do better than we did last year. Last year, the team did great with what they had, but I feel like this year, especially with the 3 seniors we have, 2 of them who've played at Sandy Creek for 4 years, I hope to let them finish their high school season off with a bang. So I'm hoping we could take it all the way through the playoffs and maybe even the state championship, not to jinx nothing.
Now, and I'm glad you just mentioned Sandy Creek. You understand Sandy Creek has a tradition of ballers. You understand that? And, you're continuing that tradition, but, that level is high. That bar is high at Sandy Creek. And coaches are in and out of that school on a regular basis for a number of sports. And I'm sure they'll be in to see you as well. But, being at Sandy Creek is something special.
Thank you. It is. Especially since my mom, my dad, and my brother all had some sort of experience with Sandy Creek. My brother graduated 2016. My mom, she taught at all the leading schools, and my father also helped coach too.
Okay.
Good deal. A lot of tradition there. So maybe since you guys have such a great tradition at Sandy Creek and you guys have been in the program so long, the next time we can bring the show to you. I feel like we should be doing this show right at center court. Let's get you and coach right there in center court and bring the show to Sandy Creek. What y'all think about that one?
Oh yeah, I love that. I would love that.
I'll let the boys participate. Tell J Mac I got them covered. We'll let the boys participate. They won 2 state championships. They deserve a little shine themselves. So
just a little bit. Don't give them too much shine. They'll take it and run with it.
Just a little bit. We'll share it. Did you grow up watching any certain teams? Tell us about some of your favorite teams, whether it's college or pro. Did you grow up watching any certain teams?
Growing up, I've always watched South Carolina because Dawn Staley, whatever she did over there, she producing them well. And then I also like the Golden State Warriors. I like to watch the Nets. Like I'm really big on NBA because like just being able to see like the skill like from back then, like seeing all the old highlights and then seeing them now, like the skill level has really got better. But also for the women's too, I love watching college basketball.
Let me ask you this. I was privy to see you this summer. Tell me about your experience this summer playing AAU.
It was pretty good being able to play on the circuit and the biggest stage. It was actually it was my first time playing on circuit in my AAU career, and playing on such a big stage with all of the college coaches and all the people supporting me, and being an Adidas All-American, all of that in my first year being there, it was just great.
All right, and I couldn't. I was privy to see you. Actually, the first time I saw you was by sheer chance. We were on the same plane together, and you all didn't even know it. When you all went to the Western PA Bruins tip-off, and I looked, and I knew the name, but I didn't know that, I didn't know about you guys, and it was just out of curiosity. I was like, oh, that's a team that was on the plane with me. Let me see what they're about. I was like, hey, wait a minute. They can play. They can play. And then I was privy to see you at Adidas Nationals, and I've spoken about that numerous times, that you all played in one of the best games there. That double overtime game was lights out. And, I tell people it started out with about 50 coaches or so, but by the time we got to double overtime, it was about 85 to 90 coaches watching that game. So that helps you know what it's like to play in those bright lights now, because those lights, it didn't get any brighter than that right there. What do you think?
I can agree with that. It was pretty cool playing with my teammates Lolo, Leah, Momo. Like, it was a special group of girls I was playing with.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. You guys were already on the map, but I think that right there let people know who Morgan Reckley was, because when I went out to schools after that, people were talking about that 3-guard tandem. You, Momo, and Leah. They were like, oh, those guards are lights out. And you guys got a lot of people looking at you guys now. I mean, because of what you did. And it wasn't just one game. Now, that game was phenomenal, but you all were consistent the whole summer. And with you all being consistent, to your point of being an Adidas All-American, now people know who you are. And on top of that, I like what you bring to the table, because you're one of those competitors that you want all the smoke. But now you're becoming one of the 100 very fast, where you're going to have an X on your back, where people are going to say, you just said Caitlin Clark. People are going to say, I want to go against Morgan Reckley now. That means you're going to have to bring it every game, because people are going to try and make a name off of you now. What do you think? You ready
I can
for that?
agree with that, because as when you're growing up and you're hunting them folks, and like you're like, oh yeah, I want to be here, I want to be her. Once you beat them, now somebody behind you can say, oh, now I want to be her, because she beat her. That means she better than her. So if I beat her, then I'm better than her and her. So it's like a living train.
And by the time you're a senior, trust and believe, by the time you lace up your shoes, they will be gunning for you, because of what you just said. Because we're in a social media world where, you guys are getting attention early now. So people are going to know who you are the time you get off the bus, or the time you get off the plane, or by the time, moms drops you off and she's at the game. People won't be pointing like, yeah, I'm going to get her. I'm going to get her. And you're going to have to be ready.
Yes, sir. I'm ready. I want all that smoke. Bring it.
Okay.
I want to talk about some of your recruitment, Morgan. We talked about before the show, before you jumped on, how for some players it happens early, for other players it happens late. For you, things have jumped off really early, and deservedly so. But can you talk about any of the schools that have offered or been in touch? Who you heard from recently?
Yes, sir. So I'm just blessed to be able to be recognized at such a young age. And all of these offers are just reminders that every day I got to put in work. For my first offer being, what was mine?
Was it
My
Cincinnati?
first offer being Mississippi State.
Oh,
No, it was
Mississippi
Florida State. My first offer, Mississippi State was right there, but my first offer being Florida State, and then my last offer, my most recent one being Texas A&M. It just feels great to be recognized and seeing that all of my hard work is being paid off. But this is just the beginning. I got to keep working.
I love what you said right there, and that was going to be my next question. How it sounds like you have a great mental understanding for how to handle it. I think a lot of players want to be in your position, but they don't understand what kind of comes with that as well mentally. How are you kind of staying humble and maintaining that type of work ethic that got you to this position?
Yes, sir. I'm just staying humble because as I'm like working, I know that when I stop working, the one day I say, "Oh, I got to take a day off. I can't do it no more." Somebody else is saying, "Oh, I got to get in the gym because I got one. All I got to do is learn this one thing, and I'm gonna be better than her because she can't do it." So then now they ahead of me, and now I'm working from behind. So I just got to keep working because the more I work, the more people will have to keep catching up and catching up. So I just can't stop.
Hey, I believe Kobe Bryant described it best with the Mamba mentality. That sounds a lot like what he described in Mamba mentality. Let's talk about some of your other goals. David mentioned some of your goals for this high school season, but just personally, what are some things that throughout your career that you want to see yourself accomplish?
I want to be able to. I want to at least win 2 state championships throughout my high school career. I want to be able to get some of those big accolades. I want to be able to go to some of the big, like the McDonald's All American, the USA. I want to go to all those big camps to help me get recognized.
I love it. I don't see any problem with any of those. Those are great goals to have, and for somebody with your game, the type of aspirations that you should have. Um, anybody that you would like to acknowledge that now's the time. Let's continue to shout out that support system. You mentioned some of the trainers, but I'm sure they would love to have their name called as well. But any shout outs that you want to hand out?
Yes, I want to shout out my AAU. I'm my AAU coach, Coach Kisa. She's been with me from the start, from when I was in 5th grade. She helped me build up my image, and she helped me like get my confidence, helped me figure out what I need to work on and stuff like that. I want to thank my mom and my dad for being there and investing their time and energy into me in the sport that I love. I want to thank my trainer, Jalen, at Elite Percent One. I want to thank my other trainer, Dorian, at B-Ball 101 EPD. And I want to thank Pitts Academy. I want to thank all of them because they've helped me and helped my growth over the years.
For
Shout
sure.
out Pitts Academy. He does a great job. He does a
I want
real
to
good job.
also thank my other trainer, Coach Mike, out in Southwest DeKalb, and then both of my sisters and my brothers, and my brother, because they've accepted that I love the sport, and they've also invested time and energy out of their days. Like when they're tired, they still go to training because they know I got to keep working and get better. They in the gym helping me get my rebounds and all that. I want to also thank like all of my family across the world.
For sure, for sure. That's a great list. Every great player needs a great support system. So I'm glad that you have that locked in. So one thing that we have to ask you, this is something that throughout the history of this podcast that I have asked every single player that comes on. Actually, it's 2 questions that we ask, and we'll give you some of your time back. But the first question is, what artist do you love to listen to? What's your pregame music routine look like? Who are you listening to? Who gets you ready to play a basketball game?
I like Huncho, Lil Baby, Lil Durk. I like Gunna. Really like rappers like that, some upbeat rappers. Well, they not really upbeat, but like I just like that they rap about what they live and they not just rapping about stuff that don't got nothing to do with them.
I've been trying to get into Huncho lately. I'm getting there. I'm slowly getting there. Everybody else you name I'm on with. Everybody else you name I'm on with. I'm trying to get to Huncho. I have enjoyed it so far. The second question, this is the last one that I'll ask, but we asked every player this question. Would you rather hit a game-winning shot at home and have the crowd go absolutely crazy, or would you rather hit a game-winning shot on the road and send the opposing team fans home sad? Which one would you rather have?
I would say hit the game-winning shot when I'm not at home, because all of these people who was hating on me the whole game, oh, you're overrated, oh, you can't do it, and I hit the game-winning shot, I'm turning looking at them. We're going to be looking at each other. And we're just going to be looking at each other because what you trying to say now?
How you like me now? That's what I'm talking about.
Listen, David, I am sold, man. I love this. I love this.
It's that mentality, bro. Mentality.
It is. It is. Morgan, I appreciate you coming on. This has been phenomenal. And we look forward to checking in with you during the season and seeing how you're doing, how Sandy Creek is doing, checking in on the family. And I promise you this, we are going to get it clear. I'm going to talk to the coaching staff. We'll talk to the AD. And the next time we do this together, we'll try to be sitting up on the home court, right on the logo during this show.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Oh, also, one more person I want to shout out. It just came to my mind. I want to also shout out my high school coach, Coach Deshae Lewis.
Absolutely.
She's been
Coach
great.
Lewis.
I've been coaching with her for about 3 years now. Even though I'm just not getting into high school, she's been accepting me like into her practices and stuff like that, so I can just start getting acclimated to the high school level at a younger age.
For sure. Shout out to Coach Lewis. Coach Lewis, we're gonna be in touch. We'll be in touch.
You take care, okay?
Thank you for joining, Morgan. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Listen, she gonna come ready. She gonna come ready, bro.
You know what I love? I love to see confident young people.
Yeah.
I love to see confident young people. People, and Leah DeWitt was the same way. Not second guessing herself, very sure of herself and her talent. That tells me that this is a young person that believes in the work that she's put in to get to this point. I absolutely love it.
Man, let me say this. And it's a testament to what, like, she shouted out her mom and dad and her family. She has a great support system. But
sure.
The other thing that stands out as well, man, these young ladies have been on a stage of the highest level so early. So this is not a shock to the system. Like I said, like, she played all summer in spring on big stages, Adidas, even the tip-off. That's the biggest tip-off event in the country, where it's like, what, 400 teams there? And so from day one, when Keisha and them put them out there and sort of, quote unquote, threw them to the wolves, they responded well. They responded very well. So by the time they got to the end of the year of Adidas Nationals and NCAA Academy, and all them coaches there, they weren't shook.
I just want to say, how tremendous it is. We're talking to a young person, again, that is a rising freshman. She just started high school in August, right? Like, she's probably 14 years old. I don't know that I am that comfortable on a basketball stage as she is at 14. And I definitely don't believe that I'm that comfortable talking and speaking about my game and my future on a podcast in front of the whole world at 14. It is just what we see from some of these young people that we get an opportunity to interview. It's just super special stuff. And I don't think it's anything that can be taken for granted when we get to interview some of these young people. So we got to protect some of these young people at all costs, man, because, I look at this and I won't get too crazy, but like, this is our future, right? These confident, smiling, happy, bright young people are not only the future of the game that we love, but the future of the country that we live in. And if you ask my opinion, the future is very bright. Very bright.
Absolutely. I not only is the game in good hands, but we talked about this. Georgia's in good hands, bro. Woo. Georgia's in real good hands.
In very good hands. A lot of heat in Georgia. Speaking of, we got another guest that we're going to bring in the show. We're talking about Georgia being in good hands. The city of Marietta has been in good hands. So our next guest, we got Coach DeWitt lined up for us, the head coach of the Marietta Blue Devils. Coach DeWitt, how you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm great. How you guys today? Enjoying the pod right now.
Man, we're good, man. We're good. First off, man, thank you for opening Marietta to us to host that event. We are definitely thankful for you being gracious enough. And, we got so many compliments, especially for some of the out-of-town people that was like, man, this is a high school. I was like, oh, yeah, this is a top-notch facility. And, like I said, just thank you again for, opening everything up to us. And we really enjoyed it, man. Thank you again.
No, you're very welcome. Thanks for the opportunity. It was a great event. You guys was on point. I didn't have to worry about too much in the building. The girls who attended, their families were well represented. Everyone was classy, of high character. And it was pretty neat. Everyone was there for basketball. We all had one common goal: go out here and play hard. And you could just even tell just by, walking through the bleachers, just, seeing the look on people's faces and getting a chance to see these kids compete. It was a great opportunity for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100% on that. I mean, would you agree? And, we always like to ask somebody besides me and Dre, what did you think about the level of competition there?
I thought it was awesome, man. It was pretty neat. You guys kind of talked with Morgan about that. As far as going up against people. And I had some messages after the camp like, hey, coach, what did you think? And I was like, I thought my approach to these camps is, in these showcases, is you should know where you stand. You should know what you need to go work on. You should know what you're good at, what maybe a teammate should do in a game right now. And maybe, so in the spring when people see you, oh, that player X, they've gotten better at this and that. And so that's kind of the biggest takeaway. And the responses I got was a lot of thumbs up, not a lot, but it was just a couple people nearby. It was their first event like this. And I thought that's the takeaway. And there was no debate. I think it kind of lets kids know either I'm either on the right direction or I got to change some things up, or and you guys provided that platform for them. I think the game I saw, I was working the clock for you guys. I might have to send y'all another bill. I worked game one in the Aux gym, and to see Momo and Cece, Munchie and Lolo, and I know I'm missing some other names. And it was just a good day. I've been seeing these kids come up for a long time, and it was I got spoiled early. I got spoiled early in the day. And I just thought that seeing them, different kids just attack the basket, lose teammates, go one-on-one, show off their middies, show off their threes, just see the competitive nature that it takes to be a special ball player. And that's what y'all platform allowed.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we wanted to bring you on today and put you center stage. We definitely appreciate you being a part of the camp. But this is a moment that we wanted to get to know Coach DeWitt as more than Leah and Alana's dad. we know that is as our kids all get older, that's what our name is. Nobody calls me by my name anymore. They just say it's DeWan's dad. But Coach, you are a super accomplished coach in your profession as well. So we wanted to make you center stage and get to know your background a little bit. We'll get to, I don't want to spoil it. We'll get to the state championship in a minute. But Coach, what take us back to how you guys started playing the game? Like who put the ball in your hands, and where did your passion for the game of basketball come from?
Really, my mom, Onitra. She put me on. I had an older brother who played all types of sports, growing up playing, football, baseball. But, when I talk about how I learned to play or where I started playing at, it's Newport News, Virginia.
Newport News. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't have to say that much more, but granted, I was only elementary school. But the Blacktops in Newport News, Virginia is where I started playing basketball. And then my mom was such a Michael Jordan fan. And I would mention my dad too. He was in the Army at the time, so Army life. But my mom was such a huge Michael Jordan fan. We didn't miss a game. It could be Boston, LA, Chicago, Boston. We was just a basketball family growing up. And I think that came from her. And she was also one of the best coaches I had. In fifth grade, she holds the belt for going 5-0 in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, fifth grade boys league, and just seeing her grind it out. And she always told me, you should coach and teach. You should coach and teach. And as a young kid, you're like, I'm trying to play, and I'm trying to teach and coach kids. But I think those seeds were put in the ground early, and so basketball is always fun. Trying to keep up with my older brother, and just going out there and moving. Actually, being a military brat, I had to hang on to basketball. I went to like 8-9 different schools coming up, so everywhere we moved, it was kind of quiet. And then once basketball season hit, everyone knows who I am because I was pretty good at it. And I took it seriously, and I always tried to be in the gym all the time and be on the courts. And I finished high school up in Fort Lauderdale in Pembroke Pines. There's a high school called Flanagan High School in Broward County. And I was showing my daughters on Google Maps where I used to train myself. I had a book from going to 5-star basketball camp, and I'm just outside in that South Florida heat. And I had a good friend of mine say, "Hey man, don't worry about the sun. That's just the bright lights. Get used to it." And so all those things were very motivating. And so that's part of my journey. And I wish I could shout this guy out. I still don't know his name. But he had one of them little Jerry curls. He's from Riviera Beach, which is in West Palm Beach area. And he put a ragtag group of guys who I didn't make the Nike team because then there was only a few select teams that would go out and do certain. And so Nike Wide World of Sports came off, and this stranger, called my dad's phone, and we were almost like the Bad News Bears of basketball. To me, that's what I called it. I didn't know anyone. But I'll throw some names out for 20 years ago. But one of my teammates was Anquan Bolden. I didn't know he was a star football player.
Yeah.
Ed Nelson, who played at UConn, he was a big power forward at the time. And then Mike Joseph, he went on to play at Citadel. So there's some D1 guys, like some really good athletes. We just didn't know each other, and we went to Wild World of Sports, and I was fortunate enough to get noticed by a few schools. Stetson was the most aggressive. Stetson, their whole coaching staff was at every game at Wild World of Sports when I played there in the summer of '98. And I was like, these people are nuts. And I had no idea who they were. Just by that, getting that attention and seeing I was their main focus. And my coach at that time, who recruited me, Andy McCloskey, he's still alive, but Coach Murray Arnold was the head coach, and he passed away a few years ago. But really changed the trajectory and really helped me meet my goals where I want to go. So I'd like to tell the young people, as you guys come up, just try to remember who helped you along the way and keep their legacy alive. And that's a part of your history. So don't turn your back to it.
I like what you just said, because a lot of times people don't understand, especially when you're done playing and you get into the coaching world. A lot of times what people don't understand, what is a testament to you, a lot of times is on the college level, is your coaching tree. A lot of times players that move on and start to coach, and they a lot of times use your style or that coach's style because that's what they're accustomed to. And when they become accustomed, when they become famous or good at it per se, you start to see Derek DeWitt, and you'll see this coach under that tree, this coach under that tree. And 9 times out of 10, they're running Coach DeWitt's style because, that's what they're accustomed to. And that's always a testament to that coach, to let them know that they've done things the right way.
No, I agree. And not to leave any coaches out, the current AD at Marist, his name's Derek Waugh. He took over after Coach Arnold. So I had him he was like the youngest Division I coach. It was almost like we were the same age. We butt heads all the time, but I could call him right now and pick his brain about things. But, him showing us the amoeba defense. And so me kind of understanding that. There's a Coach John Kaufman he's at Indiana, Purdue, Fort Wayne. He's the men's coach there. He's doing a great job up there. So those guys kept it going. And you're right. When I started coaching, I just looked at what I went through, and either how I can enhance it or repeat it if it was pretty good. So you're exactly right about that coach's tree. That's something that gets overlooked, especially in high school.
Yes, very much.
I got to be looking for that amoeba defense, Coach DeWitt. If you bring that out, I haven't seen that since the UNLV days. But I love to see it.
I started to find some old notebooks, but it was a lot of detail and it was fun. You know, Dennis Felton, who used to coach at UGA.
Yep.
We was working a camp together years ago, and he was like, "Hey man, you got to show me that defense," because they was going through some. I think Georgia was down a couple scholarships, and Stetson got him. They caught him slipping. We won a game, and he's like, "That damn amoeba defense. You got to send me some notes on that, coach." But with the right pieces, definitely can do it. We'll see. I don't know about this year. Maybe we'll see.
Love to see it, man. So, Coach, you finish playing. You know, you develop this passion for basketball, and then something makes you decide to get into coaching. How did your journey lead you to coaching basketball after, you know, at first you didn't see that as part of your future?
Nah, for sure. Really, it was just opportunity and something I like to do. You know, we tell kids do what you like to do, and basketball is all I like to do. I'd find myself showing someone something at LA Fitness anyway, and it's like, you know what? Or I'm running a camp, or I'm going back to Florida, you know, helping out running a camp, and I was like, you know, and I got this opportunity. Dr. Davison, he's retired now, but he gave me my first head coaching job. Before that, he hired me as a paraprofessional at Southside High School. And so I just was kind of learning the ropes, helped out with JV a little bit. Then 2 years later, I'm a varsity basketball coach, very, very green. But I was told, hey, make something out of it. So I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew basketball. I had a passion for it. And so really just starting from ground zero. You know, I didn't know how to pay bills at the time, Andre. It was just out there. Everything was basketball to me. Everything was basketball. So I got into coaching. I think it was just a gift. And, you know, you know, certain things get put in your lap. It's like, oh, I'm wanted, I'm needed. I'm big on that. If I'm needed somewhere, that's probably where I need to be at, you know, especially if that's the direction I want to go into. And it was. So I earned my master's degree and then got my head coaching job and was coaching boys. And I learned a lot. We was in a really good region. I think at the time, Chattahoochee was rolling. They had Jerron Blossom game. And I saw him catch one of the coldest alley-oops. I just happened to be the opposing coach. But we got him back, though. We got him back at their place. I got a win at Chattahoochee, and they was like number 1, 2 in the country in the state, them in Woodland. So we had a good run. And what got me to coaching girls basketball was I never really interviewed for a teacher position. And so I needed the experience. And so I took an interview at Sequoia High School. I knew they had a history of you know, boys basketball and also girls basketball. And they were rolling at the time. They had Sean Tate was there killing it, who went on the Dalton State and won a national championship. But I got the call from the AD after that interview to be an assistant coach and math teacher to lead the girls. And that's when I have Leah and Elena at home. And my wife has a great relationship with her high school coach. She also, we met at Stetson University. She was she was a really good player on the women's team. I think she had in 2 years, she played JUCO. So in 2 years, she had about almost 600 points in 2 years at Stetson University.
Bucky.
Yeah, she was. Yeah. She was 3-and-D before it was popular. Still can't beat me though. But anyhow.
All right,
the cameras
when these lights go off now, you're gonna have to answer when these lights go off.
I'm ready. And so, you know, just that whole journey of and one thing I learned about coaching in Georgia, and if any youngsters are listening, and you mentioned it about, you know, coach's tree, I would get that question a lot when I started coaching in Georgia. Hey, where'd you play at? And the minute I said somewhere not from Georgia, he was like, we're going about that business. I was like, man, how do I break into these inner circles of Georgia basketball? You know, like you really got to put your work in. You got to know what you're doing. You have to talk to people, network, share information, help children, help kids out. And now I feel like I'm there. I have a good network in Georgia. I can call people. I can lean on people. and be helpful and also get help. It just takes time. Nothing is instant. So that whole grind and get out the mud thing, that happens in coaching. And it's a fun journey and very fulfilling, because if you're passionate about it, everyone takes notice and you'll be rewarded and encouraged along the ride.
100%. Hey, shout out to Sequoia. Our good buddy Alan Cardine over there was coaching the boys.
Yeah. Hey, he's at DME now.
He is.
Is he?
Coaching the
Wow.
boys at DME.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the
Yes.
boys or girls side?
Boys.
Oh, so he's over there. He's with Michael then.
Yeah, he's at
Yeah.
DME. It's funny. He called me because that's Central Florida. Again, that's where I played college basketball at. Through his networking, I had to get on Facebook and find some people I knew down there and kind of, do my little reference thing for him. It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat.
Alan, I love Alan. We were able to interview him as well when he was at Sequoia. I love basketball people, and Alan is a basketball guy through and through. So love that. Love that he landed on his feet, man, at a great program. So can't wait to see what he does at DME. I got to make sure we get down there to go visit him. So
yeah, get some sunshine.
Yeah,
and our facility is amazing at DME. It's nice.
Yeah. So Coach, what brought you that we went over how you got your start, but what brought you to Marietta? How did that happen?
Well, I at Sequoia, I coached some awesome youngsters. I'm gonna name a few who went on to play college, but I'm gonna miss some. But Kylie Schmidt, she played at North Greenville. Now this girl averaged 4 points and 3 rebounds a game, but was such a vital piece on the team. She got a Division II scholarship. Then we have Alyssa Cagle, was valedictorian, also our point guard. She had opportunities to go play college, but she was so smart. She's in a doctorate program right now in the medical field. Peyton Satterfield, Maggie Hartman is an OB. Her younger sisters, one's a missionary, and the other, Lauren and Kelly, just did amazing. They were big, so we had size. We ran pack line defense. It was a Final Four team. Megan Garcia went on to play at LaGrange. Sydney Rosant went on to play at Brown. And I was there for 7 years, and I felt like that generation of kid was starting to phase out. And there was a new generation behind them. And at that time, as hard as it was to look elsewhere, that connection wasn't the same. And if that connection isn't there, then it's time to look. The school was great, everything was fine. But the AD at Marietta was also my former athletic director, and so there's a relationship there. And so the opportunity to move schools, to move my family, it had to be the right situation. And all I can say is I made the right decision for my family and for myself and for my career. My AD is Craig McKinney, huge fan of all sports. Girl dad, so he advocates for women's sports and just all good coaches, and he's big on just doing things the right way. And so I got to Marietta, and the principal at the time, Keith Ball, said, if you're a good teacher or coach, you're going to find out here. And I like to think I'm a good teacher coach because I'm still here on year 6.
For sure. Marietta is, we talked about this in the gym. Marietta is just a very special, very different place. And a lot of people don't realize that until you get there, until you get a chance to experience it. You had a lot of success, or have had a lot of success at Marietta, winning a state championship in the state of Georgia is really hard to do. But you did it at 7A. If I'm not mistaken, with McEachern in your region. Were they not there? I believe they were there.
There was that was our Final Four game. A loaded McEachern team. Final Four, yeah.
So not only did you get it done, you went up against a legend to go and get it done. Tell us about that run. You were year 2, right?
That was my second year, and the program was in good hands. Coach Michael Marquise, he's the Sprayberry boys coach now, but it was in good hands. Yep. And so the girls was, just really wanted to see what I was about. And, but that year going in, that summer, we had a young lady moving here, a young lady already on the team. Lauren Walker was one of the best kids I've coached. She's in that upper echelon of awesome young people that love the game of basketball. She went on to play at Michigan State. So I had some pieces. We had some young pieces. We had some South. I'm gonna name some names. Kayla Day, she's a freshman now. I think she goes to Southern. She's not playing basketball, I believe. MJ, we had Lauren Nelson, Chloe Sterling, Francis Story. I'm missing some names. I'm drawing some blanks, but we had a special group of individuals who took role identification to the level it needs to be taken to be successful. And we committed to a style of play that summer before. And then we had a young lady move in from Japan. Her dad was in the service over there. Chloe Sterling, she's a point guard at Hofstra now. And so knowing these pieces, I'll be straight up. I told my wife, I was like, we're going to have the pieces to get it done. And so we were a run and jump team. And so, during that run, it just took film prep, but also we knew who we were. We knew who we were, and we played to that style. We could play individual, we could play team. We're gonna, play team defense, really push the place, make you see what you could do off the ball screen defense, and attack you from there because we didn't have a post anchor. So that run was really fun. The community support was awesome. Mondre, you know who Miss Lena is, sitting in the stands. She went from heckling me. First year she heckled me. Second year she's buying the team donuts. So it was just a part of that journey. Tremendous support, but also a real belief that the game was never over until the buzzer sounded. And we barely made it. Like, we barely made it out of the first round, Mondre. I don't know if you know that. We barely made it out of the first round. Pebblebrook had 5 girls show up to play in a first round of state playoff game, and we won at the buzzer pretty much. Like, we couldn't make anything. Wow. It was a perfect nightmare for the kids to hang their head, but they didn't. They believed, and they gave the ball, and everyone believed in our certain. And Chloe, and she hit a 3 for us, and we won the game. And then played a really big, fast Parkview team. Another fourth quarter comeback, we win the game. We go to Cherokee. We're down 12 in the fourth quarter. We force an overtime. We win in overtime. And then McEachin at home was a movie. Like, people can YouTube that one. It's Take Red Vision got that one up on YouTube. I think Colin Sexton came out to that game and watched the girls play. I'm sure there were some other ones in there that I don't. It was standing room only. You couldn't get tickets. GoFan was nuts. And
for those that don't know, when Marietta is rolling and McEachern is rolling, that matchup is like very few in the state of Georgia. Those matchups are sellout crowds wherever you move it to.
Mondre, when we were bad a few years ago, it was still like a rivalry game when we went to McEachern. It doesn't matter.
For sure.
But those situations really helped, build me up as a coach. But also the youngsters that was there watching are now in high school, and they want the same experience, and they're driven to do this. Like, hey, if they can do it, we can do it. And so that's the really neat part of that little vision part of our culture in Marietta.
Coach, I spent some time looking at your schedule for this upcoming season. As you mentioned, the youngsters wanting that experience, and because you've got some youngsters and some young pieces, I went to your schedule and I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna see a few, really bad teams, some below 500 teams they can beat up on and then get ready for their matchups. And I don't see that.
No.
I'm confused, Coach, because I see Holy Innocents, I see Tri-Cities early, I see Athens Christian, I see Murray County. Goodness gracious, and your region is loaded. So no rest for the worry with this schedule, man. Like, what were you?
Oh my gosh!
How was the thought process as you were putting this together?
Man,
Tri-Cities game one.
Look, that's one of those. You sure about that?
Right. All the smoke coming to Marietta.
Man, it was. I know our region's tough, and so when you're getting ready for my experience, you're getting ready for a strong region. You got, Wheeler, North Paulding, Cherokee, North Cobb has a new coach. She's excited to roll. Etowah has Coach Jordan Tetley. She played at North Georgia. She, her and her staff, do a great job of there. So I'm just trying to prepare us for January, February, you know, and
That's what it comes
the other non-region events are usually like opportunities for the girls to get seen, and or where is a healthy basketball place. So like, we're going, with Coach Ridley at the tip off, and then he's like, hey, I'm gonna match you guys up with Tri-Cities. I'm like, great, we're gonna need an early test just to see where we are, and then we practice and then we play again. And so you just kind of everything is a step to get where we want to go, but it's about exposing us. So we do start reaching a little early in December, but by then we'll probably have seen every defense. We probably have been boxing one and triangle two a few times. And so I'll know how they'll respond, because, winning a state championship is difficult. I've won one. I've been to 2 Final Fours, 3 Elite Eights, but winning the region is very hard to do.
Yes.
And I think I have like 3 of those. So in like 15 years. So winning a region is really difficult. And so our region is there to sharpen us up. So we just want to make sure that we're mentally prepared to play against anything and to compete and continue to grow. So I told the girls, by the time February rolls around, the first round of state, we're in a good situation, because we've seen everything that a good coach, because Georgia has great coaches, can throw at us, and we'll be prepared.
Good stuff, Coach. Good stuff. I know there are certain games that I have circled on here that are like must-see games, Coach. So I can't wait to see, as you mentioned, I don't know if people know, Wheeler as great point guard with Jasmine James. Can't wait to see that matchup. Cherokee County has multiple players that are really, really good. So can't wait to see that matchup. Goodness, I'm looking at it again, Coach. It's like, good.
Oh, man.
Better you than me.
I didn't want it to be like that, Marjorie. I'm telling you, I did not want it to be like that. I'm going to describe my team to you. We have no juniors or seniors.
Oh, wow.
No juniors or seniors. So what we do have is committed sophomores and freshmen. And so
some good players.
Yeah, and with energy, and they bond really well. They want to see each other be successful. And so I think that's worth a few points. So we'll be competitive. And with all those teams you mentioned, with Jasmine, my kids and her used to play together at Next Play. When they was in 5th and 6th grade. It used to live in Cherokee. So all these teams that can potentially beat up on us can text my phone and talk all the crap they want to, because everyone knows me. So it's gonna be fun though. I think it's gonna be neat and good for girls basketball, definitely.
For sure. Now, Coach, you got a few players over there at Marietta yourself. I know you mentioned that they're young, but you've got some players over there that can play. We got a chance to see Angela Senior come in and
Cayenne. Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, we had Cayenne as well, right?
Yeah, Cayenne Senior. I think that was a typo on the registration.
It was a typo.
Okay,
yeah,
it was Cayenne. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we were able to see her come in and play, and she performed well. Got a few votes from our coaches. Hey, please be patient with us. The all camp team is coming out. We're working hard to push these prospect edits out as quickly as we can. But the all camp team is coming out. But she did get some votes from our coaches to make all camp team. I hate to ruin the surprise, but she performed really well. Of course, we talked about Leah, but you've got a few players over there. You want to talk about some of your young players on this team?
Yeah. Cayenne, I'll start with her. She's number one, one of 3 returners. We've had some kids move and things, but Cayenne was an all-region player as a freshman, and I think she averaged around 12, but she could easily put up, the 16, 18 a game as a freshman. It was right there. A couple of layups here and there, you're averaging 18, 16 as a freshman. So
for sure.
One of our better rebounders, motors, super tough. Now her mom is in the Hall of Fame at NIU women's basketball. So she has a pedigree and a motor in her that
Northern Illinois.
Yeah, and NIU.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, huh?
Yep. Northern Illinois, and Kaya is awesome to coach. Motor, and she's going to be super vital for us to have any success because she's going to bring the ball up a lot. She's going to attack the rim. She's working on her shooting. One of our better post defenders at like 5'8". And so but she's prepared for it. She's ready for it. And tough as nails, and is a joy to coach. So she kind of leads us.
You know what, Dwayne? And it's funny you said that. I could see her being a MAC player.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. I could definitely, down the line, of course, depending on, how she progresses, I could see just from seeing what I've seen already, she fits the MAC right now. Like her game does. Because I'm a MAC guy too. I'm a Toledo guy. So
yeah,
I could definitely see that.
I like to hear that, man. I think she's got some interest this summer, playing travel ball with Chad Hubbard and Team Elite 16U. And so I had some people come look at her. They're like, no, she's kind of exactly what you said. Like she has the motor, she has the skill set. Just keep growing her, coach. And so we made sure that that's what we're gonna do. Other than her, we have a couple of youngsters, a new player, Kennedy Cox. She's a 10th grader. I don't know. She was registered for camp, but I didn't see her at camp.
But, we didn't get her in. We were hoping to get a chance to see her.
And so I'm excited to coach her. I think she'd be very, very helpful in us on the perimeter, and also just us moving the ball up the floor in a manner that needs to be for a young team to be successful. Other returners are flag football stars, but she's playing flag right now. That's Kaylee Wang. And Mackenzie Everett is also a promising freshman, about 5'9", 10, maybe 10, long arms. Actually one of our better three-point shooters. And to be considered a post, but she's really a wing player or a guard player. But I'm cool with having a bunch of Swiss Army knives. So we have a bunch of Swiss Army knives on our team. And look to be versatile, kind of like the Hawks were years ago when everyone was the same height. That's my team.
No doubt, Coach. If you had to describe your coaching style, or your philosophy, something that you feel like anytime people watch your teams, these are some of the things that they're going to see. How would you describe it?
Well, I have to base that around what I have on my side, what I have on my team, right?
Gotcha.
And so. This is gonna sound funny, but Bruce Lee says, "Be like water." At me as a coach, I'm like water. Whatever I have, I'm gonna fit that situation to find it the way to be successful and to make the kids play to their strengths, and us as a team play our strengths. So whether that means 1 year I might be a pack line team, next year I might be run and jump because someone graduated or someone moved in or a freshman's here. Some years it might be ball screen heavy. Like in that state championship year, very ball screen heavy with Chloe Sterling on our team, very ball screen heavy. Whereas now, spacing, driving kicks are really going to be something that I think we'll be pretty good at. And then, of course, tempo. And the biggest thing for me is I let the kids play. So some people don't like it. I've had a parent say, it looks like they're just playing jungle ball. Cool. They're playing hard. I can direct that. And so really I meet my kids where they're at, and also try to get us to have the vision to work together. So if this is where we want to go, here's what it's going to take. So let's just continue to sharpen our tools in practice and play the right opponents.
Hey, Coach DeWitt, I want to say something. And a lot of times I like to say this, you never know. Even though we met, it hasn't been that long ago. Madre and I were fortunate enough to call the game, your one of the games during your state championship run when you had Chloe Sterling at Hawks Naismith. Do you remember that, Dre?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hebron.
Yeah. And Chloe Sterling went nuts that game. She went nuts. And you know what? As you were talking about that, I said, I'm a cue up that old game because I know I was even though I was commentating, I was a fan out there because she was going nuts.
That was awesome, man. I brought that up the other day to Leah because we were talking about end of game calm. How you got to be calm at the end of a game and take the whole scene in, because that was the game before the shot clock was a rule.
Yeah.
We played with a shot clock, and I think I had a 30-second timeout, and it was 9 seconds in the game, and we're down 1.
So it was that holy innocence. Yep.
And you know what? Chloe had the presence of mind to toss it off a girl's back, get it, and lay it in.
Yep.
And I'm gonna take the credit, but that was all her.
And I remember that game vividly. I'm telling David before the game, Dewan is texting me, and I'm telling Dave, hey, listen, this is who we watching now. I'm telling you, she's good. Like,
it was
and he's saying it, and I'm just like, okay, I hear you. But after that, I was like, hey, man, she's the truth. She's the truth.
I love that though, Coach, that a lot of times you see that coaches, when a player has it going, that sometimes their system gets in the way. I love that she had it going, and it looked like her teammates were locked in and letting her go. Everybody has to be on board when you have one of those special nights, and it looked like you were definitely on board, and you guys came out with a huge win at Hawks Naismith that night.
That was awesome, and I learned a lot from coaching a kid like her and Lauren Walker, coaching those girls, and MJ and Lauren Nelson and Kayla and Franny, because stuff don't always go right, but a kid like Chloe, she was like one of the first like dog point guards I've ever coached. And so when I'm coaching her, I'm just asking her, hey, what's open? What do you see on the floor that I'm missing? And I'm like, hey, well, did you see, Lauren cutting baseline? Whenever you drop to the right elbow, Lauren's cutting baseline, she's open. So those things, because I like to let the creators and those players with the imagination do what they do well. And it's my job just to direct everybody else either to get in the way for screens or to get out of the way for space. It's a fun situation when you're coaching a lot of talent. And I think that year and the year prior is going to help me now with Leah and with Cayenne and this young team, letting them be who they are going to be or who they're destined to be or what they want to grow to be, and work on that stuff in practice. So then come a Tuesday or a Friday or a Saturday game, they know coach got nothing but the full confidence in them. I think that's most important.
Coach, you got Marietta fully behind you. The group chat is going crazy right now. So
nice.
We look forward to seeing you guys out there this year. I don't want to.
Go ahead, go for it.
I make predictions sometimes, Coach, and sometimes, my predictions have a habit of coming true sometimes, Coach. I just, I just so happened to call and tell Huff that he was going to win a conference, the conference championship his first year as a head coach at Voorhees University, and just so happens that he won. And then,
so happy,
right? I tend to make these predictions, but I'm gonna hold off a little bit.
Too soon.
I'll make my prediction by Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But I will say this, Coach, I got a good feeling. I got a good feeling about what you're building. It also helps when you have a shooter that can make them from the logo.
Yes.
But
yes.
But I got a good feeling. Coach, we intentionally stayed away from Leah and Atlanta. Like I said, I wanted to give you center stage, but I do want to say this. You and your lovely wife have done an amazing job. Your daughters are very confident, friendly, great basketball players, but very mannerable and respectful. They go about things the right way. They play extremely hard. They were a joy to watch play and to just be around last Saturday. So you guys have done an amazing job. I think we all know how good basketball players they are. I was telling Dave I was watching Alana this weekend, or at camp, and I said, Dave, she's in the 8th grade. She pulled up from the volleyball line confidently, form shot, no problem. Like, so we know how good of basketball players there be, but just speaking with them, pull them to the side, they seem like great human beings, and that's super important. It speaks to the job that you guys have done at home. So we appreciate you guys for that.
Thank you, man. They got no choice. That's all my wife. But now we appreciate that compliment, and that's really what's most important is how people are gonna remember you, you know, and how people feel around you. That's important.
For sure. David, any last questions for Coach before I put this championship jinx on him, man? I'm putting it on him, man. I think so.
I'm just going to say this now. I'm not in the business of how Madre is as Miss Chloe. He likes to make predictions per se. But I honestly feel this. And we've talked about this just a little bit, Coach. I feel like you're one player from being that. And I say that because you said it yourself. You know, they're 9th and 10th graders. So at 9th and 10th graders, those close games, 1 or 2 of them may get away because of experience. But I do know this. By the time 11th grade rolls around, like I said, then I can sit up here and play prediction man then. But right now, I just want to see, because of the level of talent that you have that are so young, by the time, like you said, by the time they're 11th and 12th, I'll say this, and you'll agree with this. When it comes time for GBCA, their 11th and 12th grade year, it's going to be packed with coaches. You're going to be playing those main games on court 5 and 8. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just going to say in the comments, they're agreeing with me. I'm seeing Coach of the Year in the comments. We're going to make it happen in the comments. I'm seeing a lot of people agreeing with me in the comments that this is going to be a very special season and some years to come. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Marietta Faithful, I see you guys in the comments. Y'all get a big mess around and walk through that door.
Hey.
That's what I was saying.
It changes
Absolutely.
Everything, you know.
I think that
amazing.
changes everything, Coach DeWitt. Right there.
What you
have right now. Yes.
One player that loves basketball in the right situation at any place can change the whole atmosphere of basketball. And you know, you mentioned the future, David. You know, next year when Elena and I don't even know if y'all know who Zoe Williams is, but she's one of the coldest 8th graders in the country right now. But she's recovering from an injury. So when those two become freshmen at Marietta High School, you know, it's going to be fun to coach. You know, and me, I've coached a team that was 1-23 before, but I've also coached a team that's been 28-3. I enjoy coaching talent as long as talent wants to win games, and I'm just super excited for the run we will have, but also for this season. I feel like, you know, we just put them in the blender, man, and let these kids do what they do. But like, you know, Leah's looking forward to it. Kayan's looking forward to it. They're looking forward to playing together. We had a good June. We had a productive June.
Yep.
And once October 21st hits, you know, our goal is to, you know, of course, stay healthy, mentally prepared. But we're gonna sharpen each other up and make sure that we're super confident every time we step on the floor.
For sure. Coach, man, you've been a blessing to us. We appreciate you, man, for coming on and spending time with us. Hey, you can lock me in.
Gotcha.
November. Here it is. November the 9th. You guys got Tri-Cities at 1 p.m. at the they're having a tip-off at Langston Hughes High School. Lovely game. We'll be in the building. We gotta see it, man. I might go to Langston Hughes and just post up all day.
Just come on out, man. Wear your blue. Wear your big blue, man, and with your M on your. I'm gonna bring a shirt for you. How about that? We'll just make sure we get a shirt. For you.
Hey, like, I don't want to wear DeJuan's old gear, man. I want the new stuff, man.
I got you. I got you. I'll get you maybe something like this or something else, something nice.
Appreciate that, man.
It's funny that remember that coach I mentioned? My mom, she just walked in my house. So I'm gonna hang out and get some more nuggets from one of the best coaches I've ever had. Say hi to the pod.
Hi,
Mama DeWitt, how you
Pod.
doing?
How are you?
We just heard you were the greatest coach in the country. That's what we just
That's
heard.
right, Mom.
Oh, he's so sweet. He was easy. He was easy. He's coachable.
That's a big deal. That's
Very
a big
deal.
You've
Be
done
coachable. Stay loose. Listen.
You've done a fantastic job. Coach DeWitt has been a blessing to us and a blessing to the community. And your granddaughters are fantastic. So, fantastic job.
It's in the genes. What can I say?
Coach,
Both sides.
Coach, we appreciate you, man. Enjoy your family time. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, we'll do. Thank you, guys. Madre, David, appreciate you. Keep doing what y'all doing for our young ladies, man. We need y'all. Thank you so much.
Anytime. We appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Take it easy, Coach. Fantastic, man.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be about right there, right? You know, again, we talked about coaching tree, but that family structure right there is just as important, you know, from his mom to him, to his wife, to the kids. Like, when you have that type of support over and over, it's infectious, man. It's infectious.
We talked about that with Morgan Reckley and her family support, and now we're seeing it again with Coach DeWitt and their support. It's not a secret as to why his daughters are so successful. And they got a son too, the little one. He's a little one.
Little fella, by the time he gets up there, man, listen, he will have the blueprint set by the time he gets up there.
For sure. And if he can shoot the ball the way his older sisters can shoot the ball, he's going to be in good shape. So,
definitely.
Man, so shout out to all of Marietta and the DeWitt family. We appreciate you guys for joining the show. Hey, listen, we did 2 hours. We did 2 hours. We appreciate everybody for locking in with us. And hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to go to Love the Game Podcast on YouTube, hit subscribe, turn those notifications on. Follow Love the Game Pod on Twitter. Make sure to follow WBB Gyms on Twitter to stay in touch with David Jones. You never know. That's the man that can make a phone call and change your life, change your recruitment. So you always want to make sure you follow WBB Gyms.
And ladies and gentlemen, before we let you go, after a 30-day hiatus, Hoops Hitting Gyms podcast is coming back this week. We were on sabbatical, we should say, because we had a lot of things going on these past 30 days. I understand it has been 30 days. Thank you all for being patient. We have 2 very good coaches coming on through the Love of the Game Network. We are creeping up on episode number 100. We were a little stalled. It was going to be this week, as a matter of fact, but it will be next month. Just need y'all to be patient. But thank you guys. You know, I say this from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys for tuning in. To get to 100 episodes, it was this man right here that put the idea together for Hoops Hitting Gyms podcast. And it's been an educational platform for a lot of parents and players and coaches alike, just to bring you guys together for stuff you didn't know from every level. And we want to keep doing that and keep just spreading this word so you guys are armed with knowledge so you make the proper decision when it's time to move on to the next level.
For sure, man. For sure. Y'all be sure to lock in with us. I plan on coming back on next week. So we'll see. But turn the notifications on. You never know. You never know. I may give you one in the middle of the week. We may not wait till Sunday. But you guys be blessed. Enjoy y'all Sunday. Appreciate y'all.
Good night.